The elevator to success is broken. Take the stairs.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Take the Stairs. I'm James Roberts the fourth. We have
Marquez de Rocio.
over there, and next to us, he's between us. Maybe you've seen him on Broadway in Aladdin. Maybe you've seen him on the road, Dreamgirls, and Sister Act. Maybe you've heard his amazing live album, Love Essential, on the Spotify and on wherever you can get your music. This is Deonte Warren over here.
Hello.
Yes. And we are excited to have him in the building. We're excited to be here. And yeah, come back and really, step things up. We said we were stepping things up in 2020. Did we not say that? Did we say that?
I love it.
Okay, so that's what we're doing.
BT Dub, happy 2020, everybody. This is the first official Take the Stairs of 2020.
Of 2020.
And we are so happy to have you here to be our first official guest of the year.
Thank you. I'm so
Yeah, good. So we usually start with a quick little catch up. Marcus, do you want to go first?
Sure. Where do I begin? Well, I just finished a production of The Wiz at St. John's University. I was the costume designer. If you check my Instagram or any of my social media, you'll be able to see some of my designs there. I got to work with Jusan Williams, who is a fabulous director, and a little known fact about him is he actually did The Wiz about 10 years ago at City Center,
Yes.
Which featured Ashanti as Dorothy, Tashina Arnold, LaChance. The list
Yes.
goes on
Yes.
and on. So that's how I started off my 2020, as well as I'm back on the grind, auditioning, doing my thing. You're going to see a lot more of me this year.
Oh, yes. Bring it in 2020. I'm here for it. Yeah. I'm coming off a couple of very busy weeks. Good busy, but busy. Just like lots of auditions for stuff I really want. Some of them I didn't get. It's fine. But one of them I did. I'm doing a production of Kinky Boots out in South Carolina. Yes. Yes, that is starting in April.
Yes.
So we're doing that.
Wait, you have to
One
specify.
of my favorite theaters.
Oh,
too.
I'm covering Lola.
You're covering Lola.
Yes.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yes.
This means there are kinky drinks in order.
Oh,
That's right.
Yes.
And you're an angel.
I'm the dad.
The dad.
Dad
Okay,
understudying.
so you're playing Simon Senior.
Simon Senior
Fabulous.
understudying. So I'm leaving y'all to do the kicking and the splitting and
I
the
know that's
flipping.
right.
You're like, y'all have that fun.
I know that's right.
My body will be intact.
And ready for Miss Lola.
In
No jump
case
splits?
in case Lola goes out, I will be ready.
Yes.
Not
I know
screamed
that's
out,
right.
not
Yes.
split out, just like
No jump splits, no backflips and
Those ankles
heels.
will be
no
fresh
in
for
this
those heels.
no in this corner. I'm good.
But can you testify a little bit?
Oh, God.
Because I think it's time. So
gonna do this.
it's time.
We're gonna do this.
It's time.
We're gonna start off with this.
Yes.
Don't we always get a little deep?
But like we are not 3 minutes in. Okay.
Oh my God! Like, do you want me to start off for you so you can take over with the deepness? Because I will.
Let me tell my story.
Okay, do your thing, babe. Go on, girl.
Okay. Since I've been forced to speak on this, yes, I've wanted this show for a long time. It got to the point where it was probably a little unhealthy how much I wanted this show. Yeah, I went in numerous times for the Broadway and the things, and back when I was still non-union and they were typing, there were times where I could not get seen. Like I would get typed out for Kinky Boots and like be upset, very upset in Pearl Studios. And, got, am I going to say this? Feedback was given to me that at the time, my vocals weren't strong enough.
we can't. We got to keep it PC.
it came that was the feedback that came to me. And kind of in my head from that moment on, even if I never got the show from the people who were in control at the time, it became a thing of, you can not cast me, but you're not going to tell me what I can't do.
Okay. Amen.
So I kind of, yes, had some time to separate from it. There was like an entire year where I did not go in for a tour, Broadway, nothing. And I started to go in again after I knew I had a handle on the material, once again for this person. And once again, just to say, this is what I can do. I can do it. Once again, you may not cast me. It's okay. When the tour did eventually go non-union and I was still non-union, there were multiple callbacks, multiple rounds, did not get it. When the show went on the ship, multiple rounds, multiple callbacks, did not get it. And once it started going regional, same situation at different theaters. And, I was thinking maybe this was the one that got away.
Yeah.
So to be doing it and to get, even covering the role on my resume, hopefully at some point I will play it. But it's a role that really set the bar for me as to what to expect from myself, the level of quality that we should expect in the work as a three-dimensional queer person of color on stage. So that is what that means to me, and that is why I'm excited to be doing the show.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we went there 5 minutes in.
I just want to say that it's remarkable that you didn't let that stop you for good. Like we've all had that situation. I've definitely had them.
Yeah.
Where you would get the feedback, and one time a casting director told my agent, he's not a strong enough actor or singer for this part, and that defeated me for a really long time. And it's amazing that you didn't let that stop you, that you took the time that you needed to take the separation that you needed, got back to yourself, and then went back to the audition, not just like, I gotta book this, but just to show, hey, you can't tell me what I can do and what I can't do. I think that is so powerful, and so many more of us could stand to do that for ourselves a little bit more. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's the pot talking to the kettle, because that's why I wanted James to talk about that, because I've been along with him on that journey, and I know how much that show meant to him. It meant the same thing to me, because that's a show that I've coveted since I saw it on Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
It was even more difficult for me to an extent because I lived with a cast member on the Broadway show who was covering the role of Lola, and every day they would come home and complain about their job. At the time, I was working at the theater as a bartender. Do you know how difficult that is to live with somebody who's literally living your dream and seeing them be ungrateful for it? So to hear your testimony really, it's making me emotional, because it really means a lot, because I know the journey that you've had with the show, one, and two, that is truly an example of taking the stairs, because you never gave up. You could have seen every time you saw Kinky Boots after you started getting those, you don't have a strong enough voice, or whatever the case may be, whatever their reason was that day, you could have easily been like, Kinky Boots, never going back in for that. But you chose to stick to it. So that is truly an example of taking the stairs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Get it, Effie.
Oh God.
All right, well, we're 5 minutes in, and we just
We
got
are.
deep. Where do we go from there?
Where do we go from here? All right. Yeah. We'll go.
7 years.
Where do we go? Oh, well, happy Black History Month, everybody.
Yes. Oh my God. I got a
Yes.
little bit of black.
You
on.
You wearing black?
I missed the
It's
memo.
here.
I got a little Africa hanging from my
Yes,
ears.
Come through Africa.
The whole Africa. That's the whole.
Represents it.
The
Well,
whole continent.
well, except Madagascar. We can't.
Well,
we
you
can't
know,
forget
yeah,
Madagascar.
she's
You know.
funny.
Yes, and I was thinking about this the other day. Well, this morning, I was like, "Do you have fun memories associated with Black History Month?"
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I have a really good memory with Black History Month.
Okay.
So, if you're in the business, you've probably heard about the 2013 /14 non-equity Dream Girls tour, and how
Did we?
she was a moment, but one of my clearest, most amazing memories from that tour was, everybody knows the bus and truck life. You're on the road more than you're not. And every time we got on the bus, every day at the beginning of the day, Cameron, one of our castmates, just started this thing. I'm gonna sing your jingle. Sorry, Cameron. He would get on the thing. If we weren't on the bus that day, he would do it at the theater over the PA system. He would go black, 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 history facts, black history facts. I butchered your jingle. It wasn't just like that, but it was something along those lines. And he would give us little known Black history facts every single day. And I felt like it was one of the most bonding moments on that tour. And, just this cast, this all Black cast, most of us were really young at the time. And it was just and we were going through so much, and the tour was so hard. It was so hard on all of us in so many different ways. And that's one of the purest, most bonding memories that I had, just listening to those Black history facts, and we were looking forward to them every day.
Good.
And it was kind of sad when when the month ended and we weren't getting them anymore.
Oh, no.
That's a great Black history memory.
Good, good. Because I was thinking about it. I'm like, Black History Month is in February. We can't go outside.
Right.
We can't wear nothing light and colorful.
Right. It's the shortest month.
It's the shortest
the
month.
shortest
I'm
month.
just like, I want to have a party, and be outside and enjoy it. Because I think especially as LGBTQ people, we have June.
We have June.
When June hits,
The kids are out.
Ooh.
we are out here.
kids
We
are
are in
out.
these streets.
The
We
skin
are,
is out.
and I just oh, that would be fun to have as Black people too. So I was just like, maybe we should have a moment in the summer where we have this is our Black History Month party in July or something.
July.
Yeah,
Black history in July.
Like
Yeah.
Christmas in July.
Christmas.
Black history in
We
July.
have Black History in July. Give us a day. Come on, we'll have a party. It'll be fun.
I mean, hey, that's when the cookouts happen.
Hey, come on.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real.
Yeah, and a sad Black History moment. Yesterday we did lose the great Miss Paula Kelly, and that was a hard one for me, just because she was such an inspiration with Sweet Charity, and other things, Women of Brewster Place and Sophisticated Ladies, and just the list goes on. But I know for me, getting into musical theater and not seeing a whole lot of us, and seeing this beautiful, fierce Black woman holding her own next to Shirley MacLaine and Cheetah Rivera in that movie, nailing down this Fosse, I was just like, okay, we're here and we're doing it on the level. And I watched that video so many times. I listened to that recording so many times before I got here. Just there's got to be something better than this. Living in Tennessee, hearing there's got to be something better than this.
Right.
And it hit me a little bit. So we want to her family, to the people her loved ones, sending them love. But yeah, we remember her, we honor her. We're so grateful for her contribution. Yeah. All right. So we are also one day removed from the Academy Awards.
That's right. That's right.
Did you watch, Marcus?
I did not.
You did not watch. Okay. So we're gonna talk. Did you see any of the movies? Did you see anything?
I saw a lot of them.
What did I see? I saw Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
What else was
nominated.
nominated?
I was like, not nominated.
I have to be quite honest. Like this year, I really was not invested.
Mhm.
I had like this past weekend, I had a lot going on,
a
so
lot.
I really didn't get a chance to watch or invest. I saw Parasite one.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
saw
Yes.
what was his name? The guy who played the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin,
Yeah.
yes, well deserved.
Great speech, even though some people got confused in the
Oh,
middle.
But I'm also,
Lord.
but I saw something. I did see some things that confused me. Like, why was Eminem on the show?
I don't
Truly.
know. I enjoyed his performance, but I don't know why he was there. I think
Yeah.
they were just like trying to say like these songs are like define the movie and the movie define the song and all of that and like
Yeah.
and here's Eminem.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
It was a confusing moment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he looked great.
He did very
I
he
mean,
He did great.
he did I was into it. I was like, oh, it took me back. I was into it. But yeah, we're happy for Parasite. I do also want to shout out Hair Love
Yay!
for best animated short.
Yes.
I actually squealed. when
Yeah,
they
me too.
I
Me
was like,
too. Yeah.
It is a cute little.
Loving Your Crown.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. What else is on it? Cynthia.
Queen.
Cynthia.
My queen.
It's just like that's all we need to say. Cynthia.
That's
That
it.
That's all I wrote down.
That's
Cynthia.
performance was beyond. I just like, and I know it's at a point now to where we expect her to be great.
Absolutely.
We know that anytime she's gonna sing, it's gonna be great. But for me, it's more than just a consistency. It's like she gets greater and greater. And this last performance was truly one of the best performances I've ever seen on the Oscar stage. She just showed everybody how it's done.
She really did. She really did, and looked amazing while
And
doing so.
looked amazing.
Oh my
But
goodness.
can we talk about another performance that happened last night? Mother Porter
Yes.
and Janelle
And
Monáe.
Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe, thank you. Thank you for being so queer. Thank you
Yes,
for being
yes,
so black. Thank
yes,
you for being
yes,
so
yes,
proud.
Yes.
It was the fact that she said that in the middle of her performance, I like got emotional. And it was just, I mean, you're just watching this woman who is truly a master of her craft.
Yeah.
And I mean, from the floor to the stage to standing to laying down, I mean, to standing on that staircase and serving us vocals. I said Miss Janelle came to do her good singing
The
on
good
tonight.
notes.
She did her
We
good
got
singing.
'em. We got 'em.
It was so good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. And another topic I did want to talk about was this Hamilton film. If anyone want to abstain from speaking, but this Hamilton film that's billed as the original Broadway cast, when there was a cast member who left before it was filmed.
Really?
Yeah. Have you not heard about this?
I missed this, yes.
Okay. Sorry. But the Hamilton film, it was filmed by whoever filmed it, but the rights have been, I think Disney bought them. It can be released, whatever, as a film. And it's being billed as the original Broadway cast. However, one of the ensemble members, Betsy Struxness, who had been with it, like Public, all those things, incarnations before, left before it was filmed.
Wow.
And it's still being billed as the original Broadway cast. And so, she has had things to say, and I get it. I get that, you want to know that your contribution was valued and respected. And what I've read from her is that if like people on the outside said original Broadway cast, okay, maybe they don't get that someone left and that what an ensemblist does.
Right.
But like theater outlets were billing it as the original Broadway cast when one cast member, at least one, is gone.
Right. And I mean, I do think that
Mhm.
that is an important distinction to make. When one cast member is gone, it's no longer the original Broadway cast. No matter what part that cast member played, even if they were off stage, it wasn't the original Broadway cast, and we might want to look at different wording.
Yeah,
I think it was a missed opportunity to really just use more inclusive language and language that didn't make it seem like that person was still there.
Yeah, like saying original Broadway principal cast.
Yeah.
Like there's ways to let everybody know that they're, like the ones who won the Tonys were still in it.
Or most of the original Broadway
Yes.
cast, or just something along those lines. I think I don't know. I didn't know much about this before.
Yeah,
of
course.
But on the surface of this thing, I'd say if I were in her shoes, I'd feel the same way.
Yeah. And so I really thought it was, like you said, a missed opportunity to really honor the work that people in the ensemble do.
Yeah.
Because you're not just in the background.
And that opportunity isn't over. They still
Of
have
course.
time to correct this, and it would be a great learning moment and a great teachable moment if they really took the reins of this and did the right thing.
Because isn't it supposed to be released, correct me if I'm wrong, in the fall?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. But I did sing something about it. And I think, and I can't speak on this particular company. I can't speak on the Hamilton company particularly. But I do know that this often does happen in the world of theater, where particularly members of the ensemble will be overshadowed. And like you said, it should be billed as original Broadway principals, Tony Award winner Lin-Manuel, Tony Award winner such, and so on and so forth. That way, it doesn't seem like a person is being slighted for the work that they did to build this thing. Because at the end of the day, you can have as many principals as you want, singing these numbers, belting it to the high heavens, but it's an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
And your ensemble has to be as strong and has to be valued as much as the person who's in the front and the foreground.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know as far as Hamilton goes, I feel like one of the biggest pieces of the magic of that piece is its ensemble.
Yes.
And the choreography and the storytelling through the movement, and that is just as important as what's happening, in front of that. And you're right.
Yeah. I think it's time for a break. Okay. So now we're going to talk about you, Deonte. We're going to talk about you.
Oh.
I want to start talking about the album, though.
Oh, yeah.
I want to start talking about Love Essential, available on Spotify and Apple Music and all the other platforms where you can get wonderful music. He is there. It was a live album.
It was live album. We recorded it at 54 Below.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
That was last January, correct?
Yeah, I released it last January, so my little baby's a year old now. It's been a really fun journey. That album came about because ever since a part of my theatrical journey was Billy Porter's live album at the corner of Broadway and Soul.
Epic.
And before I heard that album, I wasn't sure that there was a place for somebody like me in the theater. I also wasn't sure that there was a place for somebody like me as a Christian, but that's a whole nother story.
Ooh.
But that album made me feel seen in a way I don't think anything else had before it. And one of my biggest dreams was to one day be able to do something like that myself. And I found myself standing by in Aladdin, and I had all this time on my hands because, as a standby, obviously, I'm usually backstage, and then, every now and then I'll get to do the show.
Yeah.
So I was like sitting backstage, and I'm like, oh, I need to really, really do something with myself and my time. And I started doing these concerts that really allowed me to tap into a creativity I hadn't known before, because I'm not a writer at all. Like, I don't write songs, I don't write plays, I don't write poems, I can barely write a journal. and so I was like, I hadn't ever really felt what it felt like to be creative with my own ideas. And those concerts kind of did that. And then somebody was like, you should really record that as an album. And I was like, I don't know about that. But then I started looking into it. I had some great help from the people over at Broadway Records. They didn't have any kind of financial anything to do with the project, but once they kind of, let me down gently,
Aw.
they told me that they would be an open resource to me as I was figuring out how to do this thing myself. And they set me up with the right people, and they set me in the right directions, and they really held on to their word. Every time I sent an email, every time I had a phone call, I'm confused. How does this work? What's this paperwork? I don't want to get this wrong. They were really super helpful. So as soon as I made the decision to do it, everything just started falling into place, and then we recorded it. If you don't know anything about live albums, usually those shows are recorded 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and then you take the best of each moment and you make the album. We did it one time.
Oh, I was gonna ask about.
We did one show, and the recording board crashed for the last 2 numbers, and we had to redo them that night. And because of, sound bleeding, because, if it's a confined space, so all of the instruments were bleeding into other microphones and voices were bleeding into other things. So there was no going in and fixing it and mixing it and mastering. Well, of course it was mixed and mastered, but there was no like re-recording things or using the sound check or anything, because, the sound was all different. We just had to make do with what we had, and I'm so proud of it.
Good, you should be.
It really kind of marks where I was at that point in my life, and the music is amazing, but I feel like what a lot of people. That sounded weird. The music's amazing to me. Like, it's my favorite. Some of my favorite music is what I meant to say.
If you feel that you made amazing music, claim that.
Well,
I'm not gonna disagree.
She was a work in progress.
I'm not gonna disagree.
But what was amazing to me was listening to so many people wrote to me about the stories I told, and it's always amazing when people relate to your voice and they enjoy you singing. But what really meant the most to me was that people responded to my story. And I took a moment to be super vulnerable and super real, and it meant something to people, and that was the best part about it.
Good, that's amazing. And I resonated with the part where you were singing and you had that moment where actually it was before the song, but you were talking about how you wanted to change the notion that, single people are incomplete.
Amen. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on changing that notion.
Because I'm just like, because like so often, like me just maybe one significant relationship, maybe
Same.
in my life. I'm just like, a lot of times I feel like I feel good, but I feel like I'm supposed to want something else.
Exactly.
I'm just like, I'm kind of good right now.
And so I love where I am. I love this. This is amazing. But, our culture and our society makes you feel like, oh, you're over 30. You must be broken. Woo! And I'm like, I ain't broke. I'm good.
What's wrong with
I'm
you?
healing.
No.
I'm whole. God is shining on me. Like, I'm fine.
Come on.
So, it's, but it's hard to hold on to that belief. You have to really do the work to not let society tell you something that's not true about yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's so real, so real.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Keep going, because I'm gonna switch it up for me.
Okay.
You can finish.
Well, what I was gonna say was, and ironically, this is coming from the one person in the room who is taken.
I wasn't gonna say that. I wasn't gonna put your business in the streets or nothing.
And it is the week of Valentine's Day.
That's okay. We love love too.
Yes, yeah.
But self-love
Mm-hmm.
is most important.
Amen.
Not last year, but in 2018, I got my heart broken. And in 2019, I was like, I'm not dating nobody. I'm just going to do me. And I'm going to, work on myself. And I started wearing rose quartz and sleeping with pink lights in my room just to get my energy correct.
I love that.
I changed a lot about myself. And the main, because, I was going through a depression because of the breakup, because I put so much into that individual. Mm-hmm. And then I had to learn how to love this beautiful creature here. I mean, I've always loved this guy, but I had to fall in love with who he was becoming.
Yes.
And that's a major thing. You know, a lot of people do feel like you need someone to complete them. It's not true. If, you know, I am involved, but if my man was to leave me tomorrow, I'd be okay.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
My bills are still paid, my teeth are white, and my skin is beat.
Woo!
You know?
What you said? Okay. I love all the tracks, but there's two that I'm like in love with. Human Heart,
Oh, I love that song.
cause it's so well done and the arrangement is so cute.
Thank you. It was so cool. I went to my
Yeah.
music director and I was like, I have this idea. I was like, but like, tell me if I'm crazy. And he was like, you might be a little crazy, but let's try it.
Mhm.
And when we first heard it happening, I was like, oh, this feels good.
Yeah.
This is right.
Yeah. Yeah. Human Heart and your encore, Love Will Stand.
Yeah.
Cause I like Love Will Stand from Memphis. I'm like, this is a cute song, but then y'all win a place.
Yeah. We had to church it up a little bit.
Ooh.
You know? I had to. It's funny because gospel music is where I learned to sing.
Yeah.
It was where I learned my connection to music.
Mhm.
And I feel like no matter what I'm doing, I always want to honor that. So it was cool to put my two loves together. My
Yes.
love of music theater, and I
Mhm.
love that Memphis. I probably saw
Yeah.
it 7 or 8 times on Broadway, and my love of gospel music together. It was fun.
Amazing. Yeah, that thing that I hear it and I'm always on the train like doing my little double clap. Love will stand. Love will stand.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
That's one of the ones we had to re-record, and I mean, the first time around, I had like,
You
I was
went-
like, I'm done. Let's do this, and I went,
Mhm.
I went for it, and they were like, we gotta
Oh.
re-record, and I said, you've got to be kidding me.
The gag. The goopery.
Right.
Okay. Oh my goodness. But since we've talked about the album,
Yeah.
let's talk about the album release party.
Yes.
'Cause I was there,
You were.
and she was lit.
Listen, that party is one of my proudest moments. I
Uh-huh.
worked so hard on that party. I was like, I just want it to be a celebration. I want it to be like a coming together of all the people in my life from all the walks of my life, and that's exactly what it turned out to be. The food was popping, the bar was on point.
Ooh.
We had a good time.
It was so good. And I have this thing that I because I was there and there was the fried chicken.
Yes.
And it was so good, so good. But I have this thing about eating the fried chicken with the bone in front of mixed company.
Oh yes, oh yes. There was mixed company.
And I was like, can I do this? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to eat this chicken tonight. So I ate the chicken in front of mixed company. It reminded me of when this was like 4 years ago, and I was interviewing for this personal assistant job up at this fancy lady's house up in Connecticut. And there was a spread out of like fruits and everything. And she has like 4 kids kind of running all over the place. There's a nanny, there's the housekeeper, there's the tutor, 3 different people. One of those situations at the compound / house. But so I'm helping myself to the fruit. Give me some grapes, give me some pineapple, give me some apples and all that fun stuff. And there are watermelon cubes.
Oh man.
And I'm just like, do I? But they would look so good.
Right.
I pick up the watermelon cubes. I sit my behind down. The second I stick my fork in that watermelon, here comes the son. This 8-year-old kind of smug little, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
And he says, he looks at me. He's just, I'm going to look at you the way he looked at me. He's like, you like watermelon? I was like, goop. I was about to take off the earrings. Like, are you coming for me, child?
You was not about to fight an 8-year-old.
This 8-year-old, I was like, I think he's coming for me.
Little 8-year-old, he knew what he was
He
doing.
knew what he was doing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh God, see, this I've been burned before.
See,
But-
yeah, no.
But that was a welcoming environment. I felt okay
Good.
to eat my chicken.
I'm so glad. It's funny that Hill Country chicken. Hill Country is what it was, and I was like, and I had a debate about it. I was like, listen, my black behind, I was like, this is so, I shouldn't serve fried chicken, but it's so good. It's so good.
It's so good.
I was like, you know what? We gonna have the fried chicken. I don't care what anybody got to say. This chicken is good.
It's good, and I'm glad you made the decision to have it
Thank
because it was a whole moment. A whole moment.
And those pies.
I forgot.
Thank
Oh,
you, Lord.
those yeah.
Mm.
Yes, the pies.
I missed a good party. and I was supposed to go because you told me you wanted me to go that night, but I couldn't. I had an event to go to.
Oh, yes.
And
I think several people missed it because of something else that was going on. I don't even remember what it was, but we had ourselves a good time.
It was good.
I heard it was fun. Like, I saw some of the photos. I saw it was.
It's a
Next time.
next time.
I'll be there for
Next
the
time.
sophomore album release
Hey,
party.
come
Yes,
on. Let's talk about Nashville.
Oh,
Since you're a fellow Tennessean.
that's right.
Growing up in Nashville, little Deonte.
Oh yes, I talk about Nashville quite a bit on my album. Just growing up, I went to college in Nashville as well, so I didn't leave Nashville until I was 22.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I had such a crazy experience in Nashville. I grew up in the projects, and even when we left the projects, we were still living in the hood.
Yeah.
At one point, we were in a one-bedroom duplex, and there were about 7 of us in the house. At one point, I was living out of my mom's car. But then also, I tell people this experience that I had in Nashville. I never really experienced racism until I moved to New York City, and I grew up in the South. And I just was so blessed with incredible people in my life, at church, at school, in high school and in college, and especially at home. I had the most incredible mother who, despite her own trauma, despite her own setbacks and everything that happened to her, did whatever it took to make sure that I had the opportunity to chase my dreams.
Yes.
And
amazing.
because of that, and because of my church, and because of my schools, Nashville will always be a place that I hold dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And they will always be the people that that I think of fondly. And even with the trauma that I had to deal with, growing up gay in the middle of the Bible Belt, and being as Christian as my household was, and how much time I spent at church and learning to sing at church and all of that, I really had to do a whole lot of healing. But even in that process, I just never had nothing but love for those people, because they really did everything they could. Everybody we met, every parent, every other parent at school, so many people just gave so much to us, and to me specifically.
Good.
And I love Nashville. I think it's an amazing place with amazing people, and you just can't do better.
Good. Oh my goodness. Yay. I want to address this, but we do have to keep it short.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk, just talk about fashion for you, because every time we see you out, you are looking good. You have a look together. There is something going on. Check out his Instagram. You will see the drapery that is going on. Give me I don't know, 2 sentences, 30 seconds of your whole fashion take on things, or what yeah. Or your expression of fashion.
I think how you look is an outward reflection of how you feel. And sometimes, even when I don't feel the best, if I like how I look, if I like how I've dressed myself,
Yes.
then it makes me pull up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's really all it's about.
All right. Good. Well, you look real pulled in some of these Instagram photos. All right. And with that, I think we're going to start to wrap things up. It's been wonderful to have you, Deonte.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to plug or anything at the moment?
The only thing I'm working on is on May 18th at Birdland, I will be recording my second live album. So look out for that, and we'll make sure you get to the party.
Yes.
I was like,
I will be there this time. I will be there 30 minutes prior, dressed to the tens.
okay. So we have, it's exclusive. It's going down.
That's right. I haven't even
At
announced it yet.
It's
so
going
you guys can
down
proceed.
at Birdland. We got the exclusive. Come on, T. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are going to have all your Instagram and stuff in the box below. They will be able to find you
Yes.
on the grams and things. Y'all know where to find us. Subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. It really helps. But, we're just going to close things out the way we usually do. How does it go, Marcus?
The elevator to success is broken. You must what?
Take the stairs.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Hey, everyone. Thanks again for tuning into another episode of Take the Stairs. In addition to YouTube, we are now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and all other major podcast providers. So make sure you give us a subscribe, leave us a rating or review. If you're watching us on YouTube, comment, subscribe, give us a like, let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you.